you want to get better in Phasmophobia, then you need to follow this one tip that is not talked about a lot that can improve your game instantly. That one tip is going to be to always consider your positioning. By positioning, it is important to know where you are relative to the ghost room and not to trap yourself and back yourself into a corner. You always want to be thinking about an escape path on where to go, so that way you know where to hide and the route that you want to take to get there, so that you're unblocked and the ghost cannot get to you easily. All right, so let's take Tanglewood, for example, and I'm going to show you what I mean by positioning here. Now, we're going to know that the ghost is in the nursery. Here's how we know that it's in the nursery, right? The thermometer. See how it drops to 39 Fahrenheit? Now, I like to play on Fahrenheit, so for Celsius, it's going to be less than 10. But so you know that the ghost is going to be in here. Now, you got to think when it comes to positioning, what do you want to do? Well, you wouldn't want to be back here looking for things, right? You don't want to be back here in the corner. You wouldn't even want to be back here because the ghost is most likely to spawn in this nursery. So let's say we're here waiting for a ghost picture. Okay, we want the ghost to interact with something to take pictures, or we want it to spawn so we can take a picture of it. You wouldn't want to do it here in this room. You could on amateur because it is 5-second grace period, but you don't want to risk that at all. What would be better is to stand here at the doorway because you have a clear exit, right? You have a clear exit strategy because you're not going to be trapped. You should still be able to hear any interactions, which you can then verify with the EMF reader here. And then if the ghost does decide to hunt, you're going to have a clear exit through the hallway, and then you can go run to, you know, whatever hiding spot you want. If you are good with the locker, you know, you can come over here, get in the locker, close it. If you're not good with the locker, you can also go into the basement. The basement does not have a door, so we're playing on amateur, so every hiding spot's open. So if you weren't good with doors, you can come over here, but you'd want to make sure that, you know, you don't hold the camera in your hand first off and the light's not on. That's what you're looking for here on Tanglewood. All right, now we're going to take something a bit more bigger, and this is going to be Bleasdale Farmhouse. Now, we know that the ghost is going to be here in the kitchen because, once again, we see the temperature drop. This is why I highly recommend a thermometer once again. So we know that the ghost is here. Now, when we think about positioning, this one is a bit more open, so it's not as bad. But, again, you would not want to be looking for stuff like back here. You're like, oh, no, I'm scared of the kitchen. I need to stand back a little bit. So I'm going to sit here and wait for photos. Not going to be the best thing. And again, you can set up dots, you can set up a camera, you can set up writing, and you're just like waiting to fill your book up, your photo book, or you're waiting for the stuff to happen. But you'd want to stand right there. Now, we heard it mess with one of these doors. I'm not sure which one. I wouldn't trust. It's going to be that one or the far back one. I'm thinking it's the far back one, but either way, you could verify with the EMF reader. I don't have an EMF reader on at the time, and then you could take that photo. So if you were waiting for that. Now, again, what you want to keep in mind is, where is your hiding spot going to be? My hiding spot that I like on what? Oh, shit. There it is. Oh, my God. That scared me. Okay. I was not expecting it to come from behind. But again, what did we see happen? We had that ghost spawn and we backed up, right? We immediately started backing up because I knew I had that clear pathway away, because I like to go hide in this room right here. So we knew that if that was a hunt, we'd want to drop our camera. But fun tip, how did we know that that not was a hunt? Comment down below if you know how I knew immediately that that was not going to be a hunt. So, yeah, but you want to keep in mind that positioning, all right? Keep in mind that positioning. Did the ghost move, though? Now I'm curious. What did I do with my thermometer? I don't even know. What did I do with my... Must have threw it down out of fear. But either way, again, we're keeping our positioning in mind. I know that I want to go to that front office to hide. So if the ghost were to hunt, I would immediately, you know, run away. And again, keep everything lit up, turn off electronics, run over here. We know that if we're hunted, we're there. And that's keeping that positioning in mind. This ghost is very active. Very active. All right. Well, let's move on to another map. Now let's take a look at Ridgeview. Ridgeview is going to be kind of hard sometimes because it does have some wide open areas, and the hallways upstairs, if the ghost is up there, you're going to be put in a bad position. Now here, the ghost is in the garage. Is it great? No, actually not really either, because of how big this room is, right? So where are you going to place the dots projector? You could try to place like a dots projector here, where the right next to the van, it might be kind of difficult to, get the ghost to interact there. Will the ghost interact with the dots projector right in that position? Because you kind of want to stay to where this exit is so you can run away. And where do you want to run to? It can vary. You can pick that hiding spot right here in the living room. I do like that one, but that's not very close to the ghost. That's very close to the ghost room. If you wanted to go up here and, like, let's say, pick this hiding spot right here in the closet, again, you have those turns to break line of sight. And what I would do is leave the closet open. So again, while you're going to be investigating here in the garage for the ghost, all right, if the ghost hunts, I need to go upstairs. Now, here's what you have as well, right? So even if you wanted to, like, do this right here, you're going to have enough of a leeway, as long as you don't use the cursed item, to run away and hide when it starts to hunt. 5-second grace period in amateur. That's what this is on, just to show you guys on the easiest difficulty what to do, because you'll get better with the other stuff over time. So again, we're investigating here in the garage. It's you think it starts to hunt, then you know that you have a clear path here. Now it is like a straight line. You come here and you have a line of sight break here, which hopefully the ghost will stop to. And again, you don't want to have any of that. Then go on in here. That also breaks line of sight, and then you are good. So again, just always stuff to keep in mind. And another thing I recommend, keep the light on. So that way you don't have to have your flashlight on. It's going to be lit up and you're going to know your path. So I've told you how you would do an investigation, but I haven't quite shown you. So let's go through that here now, how you would think about positioning here. So we have freezing. We know the ghost is going to be in the living room. This is kind of good because it does kind of give us any avenue of escape that we want. I usually like to go upstairs to hide on Edgefield. We are on Edgefield. For those who do not know, I like to go upstairs to hide because it's just going to be better that way. There's many turns that you can get around to break line of sight. So now that we know where the ghost room is, we're keeping in mind where our hiding spot is, and we need to get ready. So let's look for this. Do we see any ghost orbs? All right, we just heard it do an interaction with something, but we do not see any ghost orbs. Now, if we wanted to figure out what the interaction was, or possibly a picture, we can take the EMF reader, look around. What is it? Is it this cup over here? No. This cup? No. We may have been too late for that. So we'll just keep that in mind for next time. And so let's see. So we'll drop that. We can put down the book. So we need to put the book down. And again, we're being very strategic in our move in. And this is what you need to think about. Sometimes you can't help but put yourself in a bad position. But a ghost just spawned. Hello, big guy. Hello, big boy. All right. Very well. Very well. Now, but again, we kept that in mind. Now, we knew it wasn't a hunt because the door did not shut. So we're backing up, though. We're getting our camera out. We're ready to take the picture. But again, thinking about the dots. Now, we wouldn't want to put it on the other side of the couch. It's farther in that we have to go. Just sticking it in like right here. And if the ghost hunts, boom, we're gone. I know that I also have a hiding spot in the garage. I know I want to go upstairs, but I can do either way. But I'm keeping that in mind when I'm placing my items down. I'm not just, lollygagging. I have a plan in mind of what I want to do. Like, all right, I need to put the dots in. Let me put the dots in. Let me back out. Because again, we don't want to be trapped in the corner. Now, the ghost could spawn out here. Ghost could spawn elsewhere, but the high likelihood is that if a ghost hunts, it's going to spawn in the living room. Then, as we do like Spirit Box, we're going in. Where are you? Are you here? Keeping in mind, we're leaving our back open. Doing this, coming over here. Hey, are you here? Are you friendly? We've put ourselves in a bad position right here because if the ghost decides to hunt, we got dots. We could look for dots here as well. But again, you're just keeping that in mind. Are you here? Are you friendly? Where are you? Yeah, there is a chance that it's not going to talk. It's not going to hunt. It's going to hunt elsewhere. You should have enough time to get out even if you were back there. But again, you're thinking about positioning the whole time. So, and while we're doing this, maybe you don't want to do it in the house. Either way, we have freezing and dots. It's either a Ure or a Oni. So again, we're trying to get these pictures. We're trying to fill that up so we can make more money and do that. But we're keeping it in mind for positioning as well what is our best position? We know that the ghost is going to hunt us soon. The breaker is in the basement, actually, which is somewhat annoying to get to. And see, it's hunting. We immediately know, all right, I know I need to go up here. Now, you guys may not be as good to do this because you may not know the route with it being dark. But again, we are perfectly safe now. We knew our positioning for the hunt to get out and go. And that is why positioning is so important and to always keep positioning in mind when you go there. And an example, if you are stuck like that, crouching is always the better way to go if you're stuck without a flashlight because you can see better when crouching. So again, keeping in mind positioning is very important. Now this one is interesting, so I found the I wanted to show this as well. So we see ghost orbs here. The ghost is in this room, but the breaker is in this back storage room, closet, whatever you want to call it. So we have to come back here to turn on and off the breaker if it cuts it off, which means we have to go through the ghost room to go back there. Is it worth it? What do you guys think? Is it worth it to go back there? My answer would be it depends on your sanity level, really. Do you think the ghost is about to hunt? If your sanity level is high, you're going to be just fine. But if you're starting to get low there, you're struggling with some things, like we know that we have ghost orbs, we know that we have freezing. It still could possibly be a mimic, which could early hunt, or if you know that you have an early hunter, but it's really just going to depend on is it worth it? Just like trying to change some things up maybe in the late game. If you're running low on sanity, it's not going to be worth it to go back there to turn on the breaker. If it turns it off, that would be a case of, let me see if I can light the way to my hiding spot with other items like dots, projectors, the UV light, maybe the extra flashlight if you guys have two, unless it's a Raiju again. But that's where that would more come in handy at, because that's where you think about your positioning. If you're caught all the way in the back and it decides to start hunting, you have to run through the ghost room to be able to do that. To get out, that's going to be pretty tough unless you have a smudge stick as well. So it varies. But if you don't have any of that, that's something, you just keep in mind. And that's random for each map. Sometimes the ghost can maybe put you in a good position. Like at least with this room, it'd be good if the breaker was in the back storage or upstairs. You'd be just fine for it. Again, we know that the ghost messed with the door. We're going to check. It's EMF2. I know that we have fingerprints on this ghost because I saw when I brought this in. So you can actually get a couple pictures while that camera is out. Again, that's an example of using that to get the photos. Interaction, so we'll still be able to get the fingerprints as well. Wasn't sure if we were in the interaction period, but again, we're staying out here. We're not staying in the ghost room to do all this. You don't need to. You need to think about your positioning when it comes to everything. Positioning is extremely important, and I don't think it's something that a lot of people talk about, which is why I felt the need to talk about this, because as you get more and more with the game, it's just sort of second nature. You don't think about it, but starting out, you don't really have any idea. Maybe you want to stay in the ghost room. Now, staying in the ghost room is already spooky, so of course you don't want to be in there. And now this is a good reason why, but you're thinking it's strategic, thinking about the exit map, the exit strategy, planning your route to your hiding spot. Very important to survive. Very important to survive. And if you're looking for more tips on how to survive, I have a video right here that goes over this and many other things, and I will see you all over there.